Hey Jay, you in the building. Hope all is well on your side. I'm here live and direct to tell you about some of my experiences in 2022 in the whole area of high ticket coaching and consulting. Started last year actually, but I was working in real estate, helping people in real estate in the UK to use Facebook Organic to find property deals, to find investors, and things like this. And then I made the pivot. I used what's called the Ikigai to find out my purpose in life, what I was destined for, and that was to help coaches and consultants to really tap into getting their message out. So that's what I'm going to be speaking about today, my experiences. If you want to book in a call with me, 20-minute audit, just to kind of go through what you're doing, how you can land some 6K clients, either leave a comment below or send me a DM and we can schedule in that particular audit if that works. So without further ado, let's roll, shall we? Okay, we are going to roll and we're going to look at some of the keys here. And the first key, bang, long form posts. Now, these have been quite revolutionary just to get people to know me, like me, and trust me. And the best sort of long form posts have been two types, really. First type being a belief shifting long form post. So letting people know where I was, like the struggles I'd had, how I maybe overcame those struggles, and then the result at the end. So I'll give you an example of some posts that have worked well. Maybe me talking about being deeply unhappy in the area of real estate, like teaching that long term. Like it was great for a period of time, but long term wasn't something I was that excited about. And then maybe I gained some insight. I mentioned the Ikigai, but I tapped deep into myself thinking, okay, what could I enjoy? What would be interesting? And then I discovered some of the things that were interesting, such as maybe teaching people around the world, maybe working with women, maybe learning more about marketing and storytelling and all of these things, right? And so once I tapped into what I was good at and what I really enjoyed, then I took the steps to make the pivot, got my first client, and now serve more than 20 clients. So that could be explained very, very easily on a long form post. And, you know, people are going to get a good gist of my story, a good gist of what I've overcome, a good gist of some of the ways I've overcame challenges and things like this, giving people a good idea of, you know, what I'm about. Also, another good method of a long post that I have used is I've laid out my offer, said what's in my program, who it's for, who it's not for, you know, what is my edge, like what makes me different. And the whole purpose of laying everything out in terms of what I'm good at and some of the results I've got, some of my methodology, so people don't have to jump on a sales call to maybe find out your process, find out how you make things happen, right? And so you are able to get less objections and people come into the DMs pretty much knowing, okay, I know what Jay does. Jay is able to help me in this way. I don't need the sales pitch. Look, you know, I'm in. And so I've closed deals in the DMs just by having good long form posts. Okay, so I hope that made perfect sense to you. Number one, long form post. Two, okay, it's a bit hot in my room actually, so if you see a bit of sweat, yeah, don't judge me here. Come on, guys. I'm only human after all. Don't take a chance on me. Anyway, so mid ticket to high ticket. Now, this has been one of my favorite ways to sell high ticket because people coming in like have their fears, right? Hey, look, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. How am I sure that we're even going to work well together? How am I sure that you're even the right mentor? how am I sure? And so by launching a mid-ticket offer, a low-ticket offer, it gets people to know you, like you, and trust you, and to see, okay, this person knows what they're doing, right? And so I launched a 497 offer. And that was based on offer creation, and then we pitch your offer after we create your offer. And that's very successful. I think I've got 3 or 4 deals to come through from offering the low ticket first of all, right? Again, like we mentioned, the know, like, and trust factor. People can dip their toes in the water, get to know you, see if you're the right person for them. And then what can happen after that? Then there is a decision to make, whether people choose to work with you, whether they want to work with you. Maybe it might just be the low ticket or the mid ticket. People might not get the high ticket. But what I've noticed, okay, is that people that are gonna go to high ticket, they're gonna make it happen quite quickly. It's not gonna be a case of 3 months later or 4 months later, generally speaking. Look, if the energy is good, if people want to get a further result, then there's every possibility that they'll choose to work with you because they've been in your energy, they've seen exactly the job you can do, and they're going to want to push further with you. So mid-ticket to high ticket is that beautiful blend of getting people in. They trust you, they see that you're doing a good job, and and they push things forward. So that is that for mid-ticket to high ticket. Okay, next 2 more points. What we're speaking about is hyper-targeted content. Give me 1 second. Yeah, hyper-targeted content now. And this was taught to me by a lady called Sydney Allison, actually. I remember last year, Christmas, and I was thinking about coming into the scene, and she was mentioning that if you have an ideal client in mind, you can really call them out in your content. You can call out Facebook group owners. Hey, if you got a Facebook group, like, click below or promote it. Or if you've been in business 10 years, or who's that 10K here? Give me 1 tip that you use to get to 10K. And so what we can see here is a nice, what's the word? We can see a nice opportunity to call out our target market by doing certain engagement posts. And yeah, those posts will allow people to see who you are, how you're able to help, and how you're able to potentially deliver results. But the whole point of hyper-targeted posts, you call out your market and then you just build relationships with people, have conversations, help, serve. Like, there's no major ulterior motives here, but we just connect with people. And I think that's what's missing in the industry. So hyper-targeted posts that will enable us to get our target market to raise their hand and to potentially, work with you in the long term. And then finally, what we are speaking about is this. What are we speaking about for number 4? It's the Zoom session, Zoom whiteboard session. Quite weird. I thought I prepared this slide, but it seems to have disappeared somewhere. But anyway, here we go. Zoom whiteboard session. That I found this to be absolutely revolutionary in terms of establishing authority, giving value up front, letting people know what my signature system is, the 4 steps: offer creation, then content creation, then using the DM as a tool to qualify, and then potentially getting people on a call if appropriate. If not, we can offer them a service in the DMs. That's perfectly fine as well. But I found this to be great because 60% of people, their primary modality is visual. And so if you're able to give people visual resources, they're able to see what you have. They're able to establish, okay, whether you could be the right person. Like, they're able to establish these things, right? And so that's the punchline. Like a Zoom whiteboard session has been very productive. And if people are able to, like, I call this the GPS. People are able to see from step A to step B and say, oh, wow, I can get from A to B, right? And look, this seems like a great route to get there. You seem to know what you're talking about. And so this is a perfect way of just building value, having fun, scribbling on the whiteboard, like taking away that whole strain. Because you know, sometimes when you might be on a 20-minute sales course and just being bombarded with questions. How long have you been struggling? How long have you been in pain? Like, what will happen if you... It's like, wow, my God. You know, you just want to kick him out when he's down. So yeah, this has been very, very productive in terms of signing clients. Probably my number one tool, because no matter how people come into my world or no matter what they buy, it's very useful to establish as the authority. So yeah, hope you have enjoyed watching this. Let me just take this off. Hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Just to recap, number one, long form posts, because people see you as the authority. You can bypass having to have a major sales call, right? Because people can kind of see already. Mitigate the high ticket, get the trust factor in first of all. Then after the trust, then what you're able to do is you are able to potentially offer a further service if it makes sense. The next, hyper targeted posts. So we're talking about calling out members of your market and, you know, seeing if we can engage with them, speak with them, and yeah, seeing who is active and seeing who is engaged. And then finally, Zoom whiteboard sessions where you're able to show people your signature system, and they can maybe get a little taste. Look, is this going to be good for me or not? You know, is this person speaking sense or not? So that's the scenario there. So if you would like a 20-minute session just to map out some of these techniques and how they can be employed in your business, just send me a DM and write audit on their 20-minute audit, and we can see if we can give you one of those sessions, or alternatively, just comment below audit and we can see if we can make that happen. It's been Jay, LL, not so cool Jay right today, but all is good. We'll catch up, Jay.